So God, I give you my master's degree. And I give you my dreams. And I say, God, if that's what you desire for me, then I'll do it. But if it's not, I want your best, God. I desire your best, Lord. And God began to speak to me. And he said, daughter, you don't need a master's to serve the master. And in that moment, I'm laying yet another dream, another selfish, something strictly for me. It didn't have to be a bad thing, but something that was for me. I carved this out for myself. As I laid that down, God began to fill me up. All the other junk I had in my trunk, God began to deal with. The desire to please men, God dealt with. Seeking approval from others, God dealt with. And he continues to deal with me. But young people, the crux of Christianity lies in what Christ did on the cross. And that was a complete and total emptying of himself. What have you picked up along the way that you're struggling to carry with you that God never intended for you to carry? What dreams and ambitions have you carved out for yourself that you've never asked God's opinion on, and you've never really given them back to him? See, when you lose your life, you gain it. And God tells us that anything that we give to him, he will always give more than we've given. So tonight, as Victoria comes, I want each of you closing your eyes. And I want you to evaluate your life and examine what have I picked up and put in the trunk of my life, in the deepest parts of me that I never realized. Am I carrying unforgiveness for something that my parents did so long ago? Am I holding on to pride because I've been unwilling to forgive? Am I carrying hardness because I could never show my emotions? I had to be perfect. Am I carrying anger, resentment, hurt, grief, pain, dislike, discouragement, failures, disbelief, dishonesty? What am I carrying in my trunk? Because regardless of where you are, God's trying to clean out your trunk. He's had this word for you tonight. Maybe you haven't been asking God to make you more like him. Maybe you haven't been asking him to open your heart so that you could see who you really are, what you're really carrying. But tonight, God wants to open your trunk wide up so that he can start getting rid of all this mess, so that you will never turn back and be nothing more than a pillar of salt, a pillar of what once was and could have been. But you will march forward and be everything and more that God intended you to be. Tonight, these altars are open. And I ask you, if God is dealing with you about some junk that has been left in your trunk, some dreams even that you've been unwilling to give over to God, some hurt that you've never fully dealt with. You think you have. You think you've gotten over it. But the way you lash out, the way you respond to other people, choice, a place of surrender, a place that's strictly between you and God, where no one else matters, so that God can begin to pull out the junk, begin to remove the hurt. Can I tell you, I know that it's hard to admit, and I know it's even harder to deal with, because these issues that we're talking about tonight, they sort of define who you are and how you respond. But young people, I'm telling you, if you make the first step,